Good morning and welcome to Selling the Total Office for Imaging Dealers and MSPs. We're glad you're here. Well, without further ado, let me get started with a quick video.
Are you an imaging dealer looking to sell beyond print? If so, get ready for Rick Lambert's Total Office Selling System, a 90-day sales boot camp guaranteed to get your people selling the total office to win. This comprehensive program is jam-packed with industry-specific sales coaching, weekly sales practices, monthly sales huddles, and your own MSP sales toolkit. The ultimate customer-facing sales tools to help your people sell the total office in just 90 days. This program is completely customizable to the services you sell, and industry leaders are saying it's the best they've ever seen. You've invested in the infrastructure, and now's the time to start selling more profitable services to grow your monthly recurring revenues and increase the value of your business. Take the first step now to see how Rick can get you and your team selling the total office to win.
Well, there you have it. Good morning, Rick. Good morning, Trevor.
Wow, after that video, I'm ready to go. That's good.
It's exciting. Hey, Trevor, welcome. Trevor's from one of our awesome customers at Metro Sales in Minneapolis. Trevor's going to be speaking to us later in the program. But Trevor, before we get started, why don't you just tell us what you do at Metro?
Yeah, good morning, everybody. I'm a sales manager at Metro Sales. I started off as a sales rep myself, but recently was promoted to manager. We are an imaging dealer and a managed service provider. So we sell Ricoh hardware, software, and managed IT services and support.
Awesome. Well, welcome. We're excited to hear from you later on.
Hey, Trevor, thanks for joining us. Thanks for joining us today. And, thanks to all of you that are joining in. We've had a phenomenal turnout to this, by the way. It could be record attendance. Clearly, we've scratching a bit of an itch here, but I just want to show, for those of you that don't know our organization, Sell to Win or Into, this is just a snapshot of some of our clients, and we specialize in working, as many of you know, with imaging dealers that have grown up to become managed service providers. And I just want to say thanks to those that are on today. And if not, I'll give you a quick welcome to who we are. This is me here quickly on the left. If we haven't met before, that's me with a full head of feathers there. Back when I was thinking I could play in the National Hockey League, but obviously the fact that I'm hosting this webinar today, that didn't quite work out for me. But anyway, I just wanted you to know I'm one of you. If you sell copiers or imaging equipment and you've expanded up into IT services, cyber, etc. Started with Xerox, had the great fortune to work with that company for a number of years, won some awards there, worked at independent dealership as a general sales manager, then at Icon as a VP. We were about $30 million operation. And I found candidly that a lot of the sales training was being delivered by retired people that were talking about concepts that used to work back when they sold. And I thought it needed a little bit of fun and excitement, by the way. So we created this model called corporate entertainment, which you'll see some of the stuff we do today. And then this thing called the internet came along 15 years ago. So we said, wow, that's going to change the way people sell. And so today you'll see some of the ideas that have come from our experience, 25 years working with dealers. Just quickly, these are the two companies that I'm proud to lead. Sell to Win on the left, which we specialize in sales coaching, and then Into communications. So we manage about 100 plus dealer websites, social media, et cetera. And why I show you this is because I think to sell the total office, you need a little bit of both. And we see them very important components and interchanging, as you'll see today. Just quickly, this is kind of where we're moving to in 2024 for dealers. So if I start with you on the left side there, kind of the wings, a lot of dealers are looking at us right now saying, hey, I got to update my website. I know the customer's more digital than ever before. How do I generate leads? So we're doing a lot of things in that area. You'll see some of the stuff today to sell the total office. AI and automation. We got a webinar coming up next month on that. I got a specialist. He's going to talk specifically about examples you can use as a dealer, because I think that there's a lot of confusion out there right now. And after this webinar, by the way, we will send you a email with the information I think you need. So just kick back today and just follow where we're going. And of course, digital marketing, right? We got to have touches with the customer. On the right side, we just launched something called the Virtual Workplace Tour, which we're really excited about. Large client in Chicago. It was our kickoff venue, and it's an area where a customer can go in and kind of walk around in different environments and uncover their own needs for IT services, cybersecurity, document management, you name it. I'll give you a glimpse of that today. the total office selling system why you're here today, which is really how do we go in, land and expand an existing account and just, grow our wallet share in the account. Now, I'll be honest, we've been taking different runs at solving this before, and I think we've really got the keys to the lock figured out. And you'll hear not from me today, but from some customers as well. New hire onboarding. So that's another itch that, we're proud to launch a service in that area. And of course, sales tools. I'm a big believer that you can train someone, but if you give them tools and training, I think the performance, let alone the results, will be through the roof. So that's kind of the platform that we use. Here's some recent launches, by the way. We just launched a brand new website for Proven IT in Chicago. For those of you that know them, they're arguably one of the most recognized MSPs in the country. Atlantic out of New York City. We're just going to be launching our virtual tour with those folks, which I mentioned. We just did a webinar, and I'm trying to give you guys ideas today, by the way, that you can use to boost awareness, right? Drive consideration rates, and of course, leads. But I got to tell you, like, webinars continue to be, through our lens, one of the best ways to attract customers, educate them on what you're doing. And we had a phenomenal turnout just recently for this webinar on how AI meets cybersecurity with one of our clients in Toronto. And of course, the topic today, the total office selling system, which we're really excited about. And again, excited that Trevor, you as a customer sales manager, and even a baseball player we'll talk to later. So here's the beautiful team that we met at the Metro Sales office in Minneapolis. Now, today's going to be more of a case study walkthrough than a typical, we'll call it, webinar. I thought this would be a good approach to walk you through exactly what we did with another dealer, so you can see the program components and yourself evaluate, hey, is this a fit for my business or not? But if you look at this picture here, what I want you to see is this could be one of the more tenured groups that I've had the opportunity to work with. And when I work with tenured groups, they tend to scrutinize the content, right? The go-to-market strategies, the tools, et cetera. And I think you'll hear today from them how we really worked hard to make sure it was going to work with their people and also with their customers. And I just wanted to touch on this. We were first engaged by Metro to do our LinkedIn boot camp. And for those of you that are still asleep on LinkedIn, let me give you a little shake there, because I think more than ever, well, let me ask you this. Do you think in the last 90 days, more customers have looked at your business card or your LinkedIn profile? And so this is kind of a foundational thing, we believe, to sell the total office to today's, digital savvy customer. I'm just showing you here what we did in terms of a tune-up with them. Now, here's the kind of bullseye of today's webinar. So as I work with, hundreds of dealers, VPs of sales, marketing, dealer principals, I go to the conferences, this seems to be the problem. Okay. We've got a traditional sales force that's going in and they're focusing on their traditional skill set or their focus area, which is the imaging. And of course, we go up into managed print, et cetera, which creeps into document management. But how do we help a dealer like you go in and take over all of the office, right? IT services, whatever your stack is. And we built this program customizable according to whatever you sell. But this seems to be the problem that when I talk to dealers that they have. So we'll show you a path. This may not be the only path, but a path that has proven very successful for multiple dealers. So I thought, again, let's kick it off here with a video from one of the Metro sales managers. And this is a gentleman that he was our contact, because if you engage us for the program, I think you want to know, like, how does it work? How much lifting on your side? Does it work, et cetera? So rather than me tell you that, let me introduce you to Bob.
I'm Bob Goebel, the sales manager at MSI. And I've been with the organization for a little over 30 years. MSI is a employee-owned organization, office technology company in Minnesota. Been in business for a little over 50 years. We have a sales force of about 70 people and provide a full line of multifunctional devices, printers, scanners, wide format, along with managed solutions, managed software, and managed print services. The biggest challenge we face as an organization was selling the total office. We have a tenured sales force that are very comfortable selling copiers and multifunctional devices, and they've done very well with that. But the challenge was transitioning and pivoting to talk about the other solutions we have. So we knew that was a big opportunity, a growth area for us. We met with Rick several times and ultimately decided that his program and the live event would be a great fit for us. I was the point person to work with Rick and his team and help coordinate that. Initially, I thought that might be a large time investment, but Rick had said that they'd do all the heavy lifting, which they certainly did. They put together a plan for us. We met regularly up to the live event, but they really coordinated everything, planned everything, put together all the materials, and really made it easy for myself and our organization. The live event was excellent. It was a lot of fun and offered a lot of tools for our sales force to utilize, and also the ability to do role plays in different scenarios, which was extremely helpful. The entire sales force was engaged and fully committed the full day, and I thought that was very impressive, particularly working with 70 salespeople with varying tenure, a lot of them with 15, 20, and 30 years selling at MSI. The feedback on the live event was extremely positive across the board. Everyone was able to see where this would allow them to have more success selling the total office and continue to grow their future business, but also within their current accounts. I think the result has been that our sales force is much more confident and comfortable selling the total office. And ultimately, we've gained a lot more appointments and sales in that it's increased dramatically. This program, I think, has given us the tools to succeed. I feel like the training and the coaching is by far the best I've been involved with in my 30 years at Metro and in the industry. And I received some similar feedback from our management team as well as our sales force. I would definitely recommend Rick and his team and program in the live event.
All right. Thank you, Bob. So awesome testimonial there. We appreciate that, by the way, Bob. Hey, Melissa, how about we do a quick poll of everybody here? So the question is, what percent of, if you're an imaging dealer on right now, what percentage of your monthly revenues come from imaging? And here's a sample set, if you guys can answer there. And Melissa,
where do you think this is going to land, Rick?
I already know the answer, but I don't want to give it too early as people are taking the test here. They'll be copying mine, but
coming in, they're rolling in.
Dealers are telling me anybody that's in the 50 to 60% range. Yeah.
Still waiting for everybody to participate, but here, let's just launch it and see what happens. Ready?
Yeah, sure. Let's see what people say. Wow. Okay, cool. So, that's interesting, right? That 50% said 91, wow, to 100%. So here's what I hear typically talking to dealers, right? One off is I hear 70 to 80% seems to be across the board. Everyone agrees. And clearly on the call today. So as you know, I was thinking of putting a slide in here, which I didn't, on a like an iceberg floating south with a printer on it. And are we, is our business model right now headed towards, melting type of thing? And that's why we're so excited to use the foundations, the relationships, right? The sales force you guys have got to sell the total office. So here's another reason why we think you got to think about pivoting, and whether it's our program or another. Take a look at this. This is some of the content we shared with Metro. The typical IT budget right now. Here's the stack they're spending. And if you're an imaging dealer, 6% of the IT spend, that's all it is spent on printing, right? So how do we go after more of the revenue share in the account? And I'm sure you've seen these types of stats before. As we engage with a dealer, here's an example that I share with a dealer. I say, okay, take a look at these challenges, and which of these can you relate to as you try to get your sales force selling, wider, your full stack? Is it, I'll go across the top row and then I'll go across left to right, the bottom, right? Copier focused salespeople. Are they just going and look for copiers? Still, like you said today, the poll showed over 70% are still imaging, right? The revenues, ineffective show and sell tools. Look, I've seen some Frankenstein messes where you've got slide decks from this vendor and that vendor, and they're a mess in front of the customer. Not enough services appointments. Are you calling on the right people to discuss services? Reps aren't probing for services. Look, my comment to most dealers is, I don't think your reps will ask the questions or engage in the conversation if they're afraid of what's going to come back over the net at them, right? Which takes me to the lower left row there. Reps fear services objections. So one of the things we do in the live event and the online coaching, which I'll have you take a look at today, is we go through all the scenarios that we've picked up working with MSPs for many years. Is your website copier focused, right? If you look at your website right now and you smell like a copier dealer, guess what? Your customer is going to see you that way. And I can tell you many dealers have lost business because the competition's using that dealer's website to set them up and say, are they really an IT service provider? Look at their website. The middle one there, no or low website leads. So I'll give you some ideas today to generate leads for different services. Here's the other thing that used to frustrate me as a sales rep. You go into an account and you say, hey, what are your thoughts on IT services, or wherever the customer says, hey, I had no idea you sell those. So you may not even be considered in terms of the offerings that you have. And then lastly, the subject matter expert there, the SME, arguably one of your most valuable assets. We can't have that man or woman going out on unqualified deals. So these are the itches that we try to, and we believe we've got, a solution to, if you can relate to any of these. So here's the typical fix that we see. Okay. And, I'm going to be, frank with you. Okay. So typically people go, oh yeah, our reps have been trained. So the training was a one-time event. It's like a one-day diet, right? And oh, by the way, the training was done by the vendor. He or she comes in, it's a slide deck, boom, they eat the donuts and they're gone, right? There's no implementation, which is why we went to a 90-day workout program. Okay. The comp plan. Okay. We're going to get our reps to sell more cybersecurity. We're going to make it a component of the comp plan. Does it really work? Maybe. Raise the quota. We're going to readjust the quota. I'm just saying these are typical approaches that we think are great, but sometimes we haven't seen work as well as you complement them with training, get them excited about selling stuff. And oh, by the way, give them the tools to sell. Now, here's a typical scenario when I work with clients. I show them, can you relate to this? Okay. So you've got a rep, your rep on the left there with the nice hairdo, of course. And he goes in on a call. Now, are your reps right now, are they being equipped, which they probably are, with 5 questions about document management, 5 questions about managed print, 5 questions about IT, 5 questions about cyber, 5 questions about physical security? My point is that you as a sales rep are thinking, okay, how many questions can I ask this person? And then the customer's sitting there, if your reps are doing this, thinking to themselves, okay, I feel like I'm being interrogated. So what we have got is a solution that cuts to the chase very quickly in a conversation. Understand what are the opportunities, and then proceed. What are the customer's challenges, and then proceed with the conversation or probing in there. But if you can relate to this, I'm just saying this is what we see all the time. Ask all these questions. And by the way, the reps feel uncomfortable in many cases asking the questions because, again, as I said before, they're afraid of the questions that might come back. Okay. So here's an example of something that we did in the live event. And I'm just going to show you here. You don't have to play along. You can if you want to. But if you're off on email, come back. This might be fun. I'm going to show you a little game we played called the Feud. Okay, the Metro Sales Feud. Now, I'm going to play a little video here. And I want you, if you got a piece of paper, grab your pen, just play with me. And I want you to write down 10 technology challenges that you feel your customers would have in their office right now. Okay, just write them down. 10 technology challenges. All right, you didn't have to write them down. But anyway, let me show you. So here's why I do this game in the live event. I'm just giving you a glimpse into some of the things we do. It's because I don't think the reps know what to look for in terms of the problems. I think a lot of times reps are coached on this solution does this solution does this, and I think we need to go back and start with what are the problems that the customers have with regard to the different technology offerings you have, so they can spot those problems and, oh, by the way, be able to present them to the customer. So here's an example of a list that we came up with for Metro. And again, it may vary, right? But my question is, if you did that exercise with your sales reps, would they be able to write down 10 technology challenges aligned with your stack? And I can tell you, most sales forces, regardless of tenure, they stall out around 4, or what you see is all their technology challenges are like print jamming or service issues in the copier. My point is they're not holistic. So here's 10, I'll roll them quickly, right? Cybersecurity risk, remote worker support, no business survival plan, right? Backup disaster recovery, lack of IT resources or talent. Look, it's more complex than ever right now, right? Performance issues of the system. You got multiple technology vendors. You got unpredictable budgets. You've got uncontrolled printing and spending. So we're going to, cater to the traditional offering here. Regulatory compliance, and of course, maybe no scanning strategy if that's something you offer up into document management. But these are customer language kind of challenges, not kind of solutions. So let me introduce you quickly to what the total office selling system looks like. Okay. So from left to right, this is a very busy slide, but what I wanted you to take away here is this is not a one-hit wonder. Okay. We start off on the left with a live event. This can be done in person or virtual. And then as you can see, the new hires, we brand them on LinkedIn, moving across. We show them, we have a video on how to use the tools. We teach them back to business sales fundamentals, how to sell, manage IT. These are 2-hour online video programs. They're not PowerPoint slides, they're actual videos, they're entertaining. And then you can see the timeline here. So the next 30 days, we would do selling printer and MFP security, how to sell document management. Month 3, we do managed print. And then I would come in monthly with live sales huddles through Zoom, et cetera. And then if you look at the big fat black line across the bottom there, each week the reps are given pro tip videos that talk about how to sell the total office. So in other words, before I reference the meeting and the donuts and the reps leave and don't do anything, this is an ongoing workout with tracking, recording, and everything. So here's kind of how the training components look. We would kick off the event. What we did with Metro is we did weekly sales practices, a 60-second video, and then I'll show you the reps are given slides, the sales manager's given slides that he or she can then role play with their reps. Now, you and I both know role playing. I grew up, I thought it was the most valuable thing for me as a young rep. And the managers are given 5 slides every week, not 10, just 5. I'll show you an example here. But again, get them practicing, okay? And then I would come in monthly with a 30-minute session, talk about recognition, right? What's happening in the market, et cetera. But it's an ongoing program. So here's an example of a pro tip. I'll just show you quickly. And this one speaks to how important it is to show your proof of capability. Because if a customer sees you as a copier dealer and they don't believe you're capable in these other areas you want to sell, I think in short, you need to show proof of capability. So here's an example of a weekly pro tip. If I set in on your last 5 sales calls, maybe your last 5 presentations to customers, or better yet, your last 5 proposals, how many of those would I have seen proof of capability? In other words, not you're saying you're good at this, but you're actually proving it. And in this video, I want to share with you 5 ways elite sellers are doing just that. You ready? Here we go. Number 1, they're showing testimonials. Now look, this is an old school method. The question is, again, are you doing these things so the customer doesn't feel, hey, am I the only one buying from you? So there's 2 types of testimonials, right? On the left, you can see a qualitative testimonial. We thought or felt the service was good. On the right side, you can see there's numbers in there, a quantitative testimonial. There's a difference and both are very effective. The second is Google reviews. You and I both know customers are looking for third-party validation. And here's an example of what I show customers to validate we're good at what we do through our 5-star rating. Number 3, success stories or case studies. Very powerful if relevant to the prospect. And it's simple layout here. You got challenge, solution, and what was the business impact? Again, a customer can look and say, hey, we're like them, and we had those challenges, and you might be able to solve them according to, what you're showing me here. Number 4, a client snapshot. Now, look, this is an old school but very powerful method to show a bunch of logos on the page of companies that have bought from you in the past, currently, et cetera, to show they're not the only one. That's the prospect looking to consider you. And the more relevant those logos, even better. Number 5, business partners. Now, sometimes people don't want to show their customers for obvious reasons, so they may just show that client logo. But if they want to leave something with the customer, maybe they'll just show their technology or their business partner. So here's the companies that we've selected or selected us to partner with. By showing your partners, I think it validates that, you're in good company, and so would be the customer. So in short, the bottom line is, are we doing something to differentiate ourselves with prospects and prove to them, not just tell them, that we're good at what we do? And that's why I share with you these 5 proof of capability strategies. Let's review testimonials. Okay, so I review obviously there, but you can see the video. And I would ask those of you that say, hey, we know that, Rick, I would ask you again, like I did in the video, are you actually doing this in your proposals that you want to sell adjacent services to your core offering? So here's an example of a 5-slide deck that a sales manager would have and deliver in with his reps. Okay, so 5, this is the title, opening slide. Are you showing proof of capability on sales calls, presentations, proposals? Again, we're testing for the current state. Here's the examples that the rep saw in the video, okay, with visual examples. Now here's the skill drill, okay? So let's interact with the reps. What proof of capability do you show in your last 5 sales calls? We want to get the reps thinking and engaging. And then, of course, a summary of key takeaways. So I'm just blasting you through here. This is a weekly cadence of mini workouts that the team does, again, all steered towards selling total office. Now, the one thing that had phenomenal feedback is the toolkit we've created. Now, I'm not going to bring you up close on some of these tools because I think, candidly, the odd one here, person I know has done screen caps, and I want to, give the tools to those that are in the program. But there's 3 tools basically we create. One is a prospecting brochure for some of our dealers. Two is a 10-box system, which is a one slide visual, been extremely powerful. And then we create a simple 10-slide deck that helps the rep go from a problem identification, and then coaches them down into how to basically have an initial conversation to confirm the need, uncover more of the need, and then qualify whether the SME should come in. So unfortunately, I'm not going to get into this today for obvious reasons, but the tools have been a very the compliments we've received. I just can't tell you how great they are on the tools. Because if you look at the tools your reps are using right now with customers, are they standardized? Are they customer centric? Or are they these Frankenstein mixes that the OEMs have gave you? Now, look, the one thing that when I was a VP of sales, and I was hiring people to come in and do a program like this, I would want to know, okay, does this work? Has this worked for others? And I'm just showing you here a snapshot of the ROI, the deals, and you'll hear later from Trevor and others on that, but the thing works. Okay. Now, not just Metro, by the way, I wanted to show you another. Here's a great client of ours out of Las Vegas. If you guys know AIS, very well respected MSP, multiple locations. And these guys, I was on with Jeff, who's their VP of sales last week. They've added 212,000 in monthly recurring revenue in their pipeline using our tools, and you can see their sales. And this is just in 6 months, almost 600 grand in office equipment sales, 83K in document management, and 700,000 plus in this new physical security, right? So camera surveillance, those types of things. So my point is, rather than tell you, I'd rather show you this thing actually works. And in fact, based on the ROI we've had from dealers, we created this little growth opportunity spreadsheet that if you're a dealer on now and you've got whatever 30 reps or 80 reps or 5 reps, you can see based on actual results with other dealers how much this program should drive from you in profitability. And you can see that on our website. By the way, at the end, as I mentioned before, you'll get a link to see all this stuff, but I'm just showing you how we lay this out. Now, you may say, hey, Rick, is it customizable for my stack of services? I'm just showing you here the popular ones on the left. It works with all of these. And of course, if you got something different, we can, customize it for you. But it was built, again, for traditional copier dealer stepping up into these different markets. Now, in and around the total office system, we are also doing these things, which I think you should consider. And you'll hear these on some of our upcoming webinars, but content offers working great for lead generation. So on a website, ebooks, webinars, I'll show you in a second. We did this webinar, AI meets cybersecurity. We couldn't believe the leads out of this thing. Okay. Webinars are still working, believe it or not. A virtual tour, we're coming to market with this right now, which is again where your customer would go in, they'd be asked some questions. Of course, it tracks who comes in, and based on how that customer answers the questions, they will uncover the need for a specific service. And then, of course, you'll have the data to follow up with that customer. Very powerful. And we're really getting deep into the AI and automation to complement human effort for lead generation. And it's much more, trust me, than just going to Chat GPT to figure out, some text, for example. Okay, very complicated. But here's a snapshot again of what's working. So we did this webinar. You can see September 13, not that long ago. 197 registrants, 70 people actually showed up, which is cool. We record it, we replay it, so we'll get more people. 81% said it was great information, and 27 people said they wanted more information and or a request. So a lot of people, I think, have different definitions of the term lead. To me, I think the ultimate lead is when the customer pulls at you for more information or a meeting. That to me is the gold standard of a lead, not just getting another contact, email, etc. So, all right. So I want to introduce you now quickly to Trevor. So Trevor, come on there, buddy. I know your Minnesota team beat out our Jays last night, so we won't hold that against you. But I just want to say thanks for coming on. Trevor's a great guy, sales manager. And if you could talk to maybe these questions here from your experience, Trevor, that'd be great.
Absolutely, Rick. Glad to be here. So, yeah, I remember Rick and his team came down in April, and I had just 2 days prior agreed to a promotion to be a sales manager. I'd spent my whole time here being a sales rep myself. And I remember sitting in the training thinking, did I make the right decision? Because I want to go put these to practice and crush it. But now I'm helping a team of 8 reps put these tools to work with current customers and prospective customers. And the great thing is I have 8 reps on my team. Like I said, 5 are a little bit more tenured, 3 are newer, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's a current customer or new customer. And if it's a tenured rep or a brand new rep, we're all using the tools. So I would say before we had Rick's training, there was no approach. We were using outdated training tools and styles. And going to a baseball reference, I coach baseball as well. It'd be like a hitter going into the box without an approach, trying to get a hit. And now after we're able to use these tools, and it kind of takes the thought and the guesswork out of the discussion. It lets the meetings and the conversations and the follow-ups flow together nicely. The live event was fantastic. We have a lot of tenured reps, like you heard from Bob, who's been here longer than myself. A lot of reps were comfortable doing what they were doing. I've never seen them more engaged. Rick and his team made the event very fun, entertaining. We did role play, we did everything. And then we have the tools, like I mentioned, and the 90-day boot camp that we can reference. So now as I coach my reps, it makes it easier for me to coach them too. So that was huge. All of that was huge. Some of the results we achieved, I have some reps on my team that have had the biggest months of their career and the biggest checks of their career. So I know it's working. And that's why we're always going back and practicing, because negotiation and all these sales tools that we're using, they're perishable skills. So we're always trying to refine and get better. And I would say number 4 speaks for itself. I absolutely recommend the program. I think it's been a game changer. It helps take us to the next level. And we're going to keep seeing what it's going to do for us in the future.
Awesome. Thanks so much, buddy, for your validation. And, before the webinar, we were talking, I think one of the things that, back to question 1 there, is you were saying, like, I won't speak to Metro, but I think a lot of dealers go in with an unstructured approach. You use the batter's box analogy. But for those of you on the webinar today, think about this. If rep 1 of yours went in and met with a customer, what would be the difference between what rep 1 does versus rep 3 versus rep 17 versus rep 52? And I think one of the things this program, I think you said, has done, Trevor, is standardize the approach on those sales calls. So there's consistency in terms of how we do it that is proven to be fruitful in terms of identifying, opportunities and then advancing those into prospects and, of course, sales. Is that a fair comment? I don't want to put words in your mouth, but the standardization of the approach, I think, was really big for you guys.
That's exactly right. You could have had the same meeting and all 70 of our reps go to it, and I bet 70 different approaches would have been used. Now we're all using this approach and getting more results, getting more follow-up meetings, getting more closed deals, because it makes it easy, it's clear, and again, it kind of guides the whole discussion.
Well, thanks so much, everybody, for joining us. Hopefully we see you soon, whether it's virtual, live, or heaven forbid, maybe it's using our total office selling system. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone.
Hi, I'm Rick Lambert, and welcome to our breakthrough program, Selling the Total Office to Win, a 90-day growth plan for you and your sales team to start selling beyond just copiers and MFPs up into the adjacent services you offer, maybe like IT services, cybersecurity, document management, etc. Hey, maybe you can relate to these challenges our other dealer customers tell us they had before going in the program. First of all, you've invested in the infrastructure to provide these adjacent services like IT service, etc., but your sales team just aren't driving the numbers that you'd hoped. Number 2, maybe your sales team isn't comfortable, confident, or capable of having those initial conversations to uncover technology service opportunities and invite in the SME with qualified opportunities. Or thirdly, you are the business leader and you realize the importance, given where print volumes may be headed, of adding those adjacent revenue streams in terms of monthly recurring revenues and how much that's going to drive the valuation of your business. So those are the conversations we had with dealers in creating this program. Now, selling the total office to win is very simple. It's a combination of field-tested training and customer-facing tools to help excite and engage your sales team in having more conversations about your holistic technology offering. Now, here's the way it works. The first thing we do is we come in, we do a current state assessment in terms of your current environment. Some of the challenges you have, we look at some of the customer-facing assets you have, and we kind of customize the program just for you. The program then advances into us creating a customer-facing, we call it a site seller. Now, there's 2 components to the site seller. One is a simple 10-slide deck you can use with any SMB customer, short attention span customer, etc. And it's highlighted in there our famous 10-box selling system that many of the nation's top dealers have already implemented, and we've included that in this program. It's a simple, easy tool any sales rep can use with a customer to uncover adjacent opportunities, and if you go with the program, I know you'll like it. Then we do a live event kickoff. So I come in live, I speak to your team, we go through a full day of role play. It's a very engaging event. And again, I have two objectives in here. One is to excite your sales team about the opportunities adjacent to what they're selling right now. And secondly, to get them confident and ready to have those initial conversations to start more sales cycles. After that, we embark on a 90-day kind of video coaching platform. These are all programs that have been tested by your peers. And the course topics can include things like LinkedIn to get them up in the digital environment, selling business to business, best practices I've collected over 1,000 speaking events I've done, selling IT services to win, selling document management to win, selling managed print services to win. And so over the 90 days, they're fed these courses, video courses, there's testing and reporting along the way. And to keep them on top of things, every week they'll receive a pro tip video, and your sales managers will receive a little sales practice, a 5-slide thing, very easy for them to go through in the meetings to keep these skills top of mind. And once a month, I do sales huddles with your team in a virtual setting, Zoom meeting, for example, to talk about what they're bumping into, how to move around it, etc. And of course, a sales certification at the end. So the Total Office, selling the Total Office to Win program has received phenomenal feedback. You can see here on this page, and we couldn't be more excited about bringing it to dealers like you. Now, in short, if you're looking to start, advance, or win more technology deals in the next 90 days, maybe this program's for you. And I invite you to engage myself or a member of our team to have a no obligation conversation about how selling the Total Office to Win could help your business. Thanks for watching this video.